Hey, what's up, everybody? Steve Schwartz here from LSAT Unplugged, sharing with you 3 ways that you can increase your LSAT logic game score. For those who don't know, at LSAT Unplugged, we offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. We'd love to help you out. Check out the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out. So 3 ways to increase your logic game score. First, making more inferences up front. This is one of the biggest and best ways you can increase your efficiency and your speed on the LSAT logic game section. In my experience, far too many students rush onto the questions without taking enough time to thoroughly flesh out their diagrams. A lot of students will read the initial paragraph, determine this is an ordering game, this is a grouping game, a combination game, a rare game, what have you, and they will then read the rules, diagram those, and go right onto the questions. Instead, what they should be doing is slowing down and looking to make inferences, making deductions, connections between the rules. LSAC isn't looking for you to just mechanically brute force, try out all 5 choices, looking to see what works after plugging it in. They want to see that you're able to work efficiently. And so they deliberately construct the logic game section so that you will only be able to solve the questions within the time allotted if you find shortcuts, tricks, hacks, ways that you can skip through the work of drawing out all 5 choices, but instead be able to predetermine or predict what the answer will be through strategic process of elimination or deductively finding out the correct answer before even looking at the choices. The way you do this, the biggest way, is through making inferences. So if you see the same variable featured in multiple rules, that is a great indication that you will be able to link those rules together to make a deduction. Make enough of those inferences, and you might even be able to draw out multiple main diagrams that encompass all the possibilities for the logic games section. In my very, very old logic games explanations on YouTube, I've done this. And of course, we do much more in our LSAT courses where we have live classes every single week, walking through logic games. We'll spend an entire hour on one game and the associated questions, talking through all the tricks and traps that LSAC lays for you and more strategic ways that you can quickly and efficiently come to the correct answers before even having to go through all 5 choices, saving you a ton of work. I've got a great team of instructors. They've all scored 170 plus on their official LSAT. And so they show you all sorts of different ways that I myself haven't even thought of. So definitely check it out below the video for more. The number 2 biggest way to increase your logic game score is to reuse previous work. Previous valid hypothetical scenarios are a great time-saving tool to allow you to avoid having to draw out new diagrams over the course of the game. You'll often notice the first question associated with the logic game is an orientation question. This question is your warm-up. It's your gimme. It's an easy way for you to lock up a point or two by simply checking all the rules against a single choice. So you go choice by choice, you apply all the rules to those choices, checking for violations. And the correct answer choice is the one that violates no rules at all, meaning that it is a valid scenario. And so let's say that your correct answer to the orientation question had a variable X in slot number 3. If LSAC later asks you for a different question, which one of the following could be true, and one of the answer choices is X could be in slot 3, that is your answer. You know that because you've already seen it occur in what you know to be a valid scenario. So you don't need to draw out any new work to solve that later question. You've already seen that scenario occur, so you know it could work. You pick it and you move on. Great time-saving device there. Finally, the 3rd big way to increase your logic game score is to approach the questions out of order. And this ties in really nicely with the 2nd way of reusing previous work. The best way to make sure that you have the most valid scenarios available to you by the end of the game is to solve the questions that involve local diagrams first. Local diagrams meaning valid scenarios. If you do all your if questions first, the questions that ask you if X is in slot 3, or if A is second, or if A is in group 1 and B is in group 2. You draw out all your diagrams first, then later circle back to all the general global questions that are open-ended you will have more valid scenarios available to you to help you solve those general global questions. To go back to my example earlier, if we'd ask the question, which one of the following could be true? And then the answer being X in slot 3, but we hadn't yet done the orientation question, then we wouldn't have the work available from that orientation question to help us solve the general global question that came later. So it makes sense to do any question earlier that involves a local valid scenario prior to doing a general global question. So what you want to do is you want to do your orientation question first, of course. That's your gimme. Most people do that anyway. Then you do all your local if questions that require drawing a new diagram. Then finally, last, you do your general global questions that require, or ideally have you using at least, the previous valid scenarios. That way you come to that general question armed with as much data as possible to help you solve that question without brute forcing it, without having to draw out all 5 choices and testing them out one by one, slowly, painstakingly. Instead, you already have the maximum amount of information you possibly could have when you get to that point. Sometimes this will involve doing a local if question that appears as question 5, and then coming back to question number 3, that is a general global question. So for me, if I'm solving a logic game, questions 1 through 5, I might do them in this order. I might do 1, 3, 5, then 2, then 4. So I'm skipping around, doing them out of order, but I'm doing them in the most efficient order that works for me by allowing me to maximize my reuse of these previous hypothetical scenarios. So again, to recap, the 3 big ways to increase your LSAT logic game score. Number 1, make inferences. Number 2, reuse previous work. And number 3, approach the questions out of order. That's all for today, folks. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It really helps with that YouTube algorithm, and I really do appreciate it. And again, if you're looking for help, please check out the links below to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.